let's continue with the process. So you finally decide, okay, I'm going to go into the next stage is the postulant stage. What is that like? What is your life like there as a postulant?
So the day I went to St. Louis, to the airport to go to St. Louis, I cried like the day I left Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Houston, like I said, here like 5-6 years in Houston. So Houston became my second home, where I knows everyone and have the relationship with different groups and people.
Yes.
And my parents happened to visit it at that time too. So my parents, my sisters, and other sisters, the religious sister, said goodbye to me.
So they were all here. Oh, wow. That's harder.
That was hard. I felt like I left Vietnam the second time. I was so hard. I cried in the car. I cried at the airport. I cried on the plane until we get into St. Louis. I never cried that much before. Even when I left Vietnam, I cried so much on that day. And St. Louis welcomed me with 10 inches snow.
Wow.
And I hate the cold weather.
How cold does it get in Vietnam? Not cold at all, huh?
In the south, it's not cold at all, like 60s max.
Okay.
Yeah, the slowest one.
Okay, so yeah, not really that cold.
In the north, it gets colder, but not in the south. Yeah.
But growing up, you didn't really get the cold temperature. So St. Louis, it must have been something else because Houston doesn't get that cold either. So.
I suffered already in Houston, so now I had to go to St. Louis for that snow.
Well, Houston weather is kind of crazy. you get different seasons within the same day.
Yes. So back to the day. So I went there. The postulant year, it used to be 1 year, but now it's 2 years.
Okay.
So at my time, it's only 1 year. So we learn about the history, the charism of the congregation, and to live community life. That's one of the important points for religious life too. We have 3 people in that house at that time.
Okay.
So for a year, we did that much. We can go. Also we go out for 1 day a week for ministry, for volunteer. So I was volunteer as one of the Catholic school.
So why St. Louis?
Our formation house there.
Okay.
And the decision that because of they have the good theology school there.
Okay.
The Aquinas Institute.
Okay.
And they surrounded with a lot of religious congregation. So, and also they have the program called Inter-Novitiate Community.
Okay.
Inter-Community Novitiate. That each congregation have like 2 candidates. 1 candidate, 5 candidates. So we will meet once a week to learn together. In the past, or from the congregation have more vocations, they can have that classes within their congregation. But for our congregation, we don't have that many vocations, like to operate a class for them.
Okay.
And not to have that many of interactions of different people.
Yes.
To create a healthier lifestyle. So we have men and women study together once a week for a year.
Okay, and the men were discerning to become
priests or brothers.
Okay. So what led you to this? So what order are you in right now?
We are Sister of Charity of the Incarnate Word, Houston.
Okay, so why this particular order? What brought you to this? Are there any other choices that you could have,
So I mentioned before that I was first met the Vietnamese Dominican sisters.
Yes.
But God led me to this congregation by chance with a youth rally.
Okay.
That when that I met the sisters there, and I just felt peace, and
you were drawn to them.
Yeah, for very special and unexplainable reasons, I just drawn to them because of their way of presenting themselves very naturally and lovingly and welcomely.
Okay. And then so you landed in St. Louis, and you said that you're there 7 days a week, but one day you go out. So that was for 2 years, you said?
For
Or
1
for
year
1
for
year?
me,
Okay, but then later on it became 2 years.
You're right.
Okay, so
right.
after that 1 year, what happens?
So if I'm ready and the congregation say that I'm ready, they will accept me to novitiate. And novitiate have 2 years. One is a canonical year, which is very limited for you to get in contact with a lot of people, that you will focus a lot on learning about congregation, charism, and yourself. So that year I had to learn a lot about myself. And I didn't like that year at all.
So that was the most difficult year. That first year. So you're totally closed off to a lot of the world.
With our congregation, we not totally closed off because, like I mentioned, we have the ICN, the Intercommunity Novitiate. So we at least go to that day, that day to meet other people. But they recommended that we don't get in contact with many people. We cannot go out for hang out too many times. Maybe once in a while.
So just limited.
Limited. And at my time, we was still have cell phone at that time. So the sister just recommended or told us, not recommended, told us that not to use it until a weekend. So they trust that we will follow that. But for recent time, at this time that the sister who are in novitiate there, so they don't have phone for themselves. They will have the common phone, like community phone.
Okay.
They will take turn to make the phone call.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that 1 year, that's the most difficult year.
Right.
How's the second year? How is it different from the...
The second year is still in novitiate.
Yes.
However, the first half of the year depends on the person actually. Either you go out for ministry, to go to different community of the congregation to experience of that community and go out to minister to any needs according to your gift or any availability at that area. And the second half is you go back to the novitiate house and reflect back what you have done for the past 2, 3, 4 years or the whole process of discernment. And to make a retreat and just to reveal the history, charism, everything. And then you will write your request to make in the first vow.
Okay, so at this point, you can still turn back.
You can still turn back.
Because you haven't made your vows.